Money, power, faith. Three words that built every civilization and destroyed them too. But beneath them all, there has always been one hidden currency: belief. Belief is the oldest form of wealth. Long before coins, long before banks, there were promises, vows, and trust. Every empire, every kingdom, every market runs not on gold, but on confidence. The moment people stop believing, the system collapses. That is why belief is the most valuable and the most dangerous currency in the world. Because you can't see it, you can't touch it, and yet it moves everything.
Before there were banks, there were temples. In ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece, the holiest places on earth were also the safest vaults. Gold wasn't just metal, it was divine. It was the breath of gods, stored in chambers guarded by priests, not soldiers. People didn't trust kings, they trusted gods. And the temples became the first financial systems, where offerings became deposits and faith became collateral. Priests were the first bankers, and belief was the first loan. From these sacred vaults, empires learned a timeless lesson: control faith and you control wealth. As temples faded, new gods arose. They no longer wore robes, they wore suits. They no longer held scriptures, they printed currency. The divine vaults of old became central banks. The priests became economists, and faith was replaced by policy. For the first time in history, the world worshipped a new trinity: the state, the market, and the bank. Their gospel was stability. Their miracle was credit. The promise of heaven became the promise of growth, and people believed. They still do.
In the 21st century, faith went digital. People stopped believing in gods and started believing in code. They no longer prayed in temples, they logged in. They no longer offered gold, they gave data. The sacred symbol was no longer the cross or the coin, but the glowing screen. The new prophets wear hoodies. Their sermons are algorithms. Their miracles are clicks, followers, and coins without metal. Bitcoin became belief. Social media became salvation, and the cloud became heaven. We built a new religion, one made of code, electric light, and infinite scroll.
Every faith breaks when its promises fail. The gods of gold fell first, then the gods of governments, and now the gods of code begin to tremble. Inflation shattered the trust in money. Politics poisoned the trust in leaders. Algorithms devoured the trust in truth. The world runs on belief, but belief has limits. When people stop believing, currencies crash, markets burn, and societies fracture. Faith was supposed to unite us. Instead, it divided us into tribes of data and temples of profit. The collapse of faith is not the end of religion. It's the beginning of confusion. And confusion is the most dangerous god of all.
When faith dies, society dies with it. Not with fire, but with silence. Not with collapse, but with emptiness. When people stop believing in something greater, they start believing in nothing at all. And a world without belief is a world without meaning. Markets can recover, empires can rebuild, but trust once broken, never fully returns. The streets fill with noise, but no truth. The screens grow brighter, but hearts grow darker. A civilization does not fall when its armies lose. It falls when its people lose faith.
After every collapse comes a quiet dawn, not of power, but of reflection, not of gold, but of conscience. Civilizations do not rebuild by printing more money or building higher towers. They rebuild by rediscovering trust. Every reset begins with remembering what was real: honor, work, truth, and compassion. When people start believing not in systems, but in each other, the world begins again. The next empire will not be built on debt or data. It will be built on the courage to trust after losing everything. And that is the true engine of faith.
From temples of stone to banks of glass, from gold coins to digital codes, humanity has always worshipped the same invisible God: faith. We called it religion. Then we called it money. Now we call it technology. But in every form, it demands the same offering: trust. When that trust is pure, civilizations rise. When it is betrayed, they fall. The faith engine has driven every empire and destroyed them all. The question is not whether you believe. The question is what you believe in. Because in the end, the world doesn't run on power or gold or code. It runs on faith and always has.